Good morning and welcome to We Are the South Stand. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday to every single blue out there. With whether you are deciding civil war is the best bet this international break or not. How are you, Patrick? It is, by the way, it's Mancunian Way goes south, minus Alan and Martin, but Martin might be along at some point. How are you, though, Patrick?
I'm good, thanks, mate. Happy Friday to yourself. Happy Friday to everybody else out there. Yeah, it's 7:45 over here in Sydney right now. Days are slightly getting warmer, nights aren't a bit more bearable, but yeah, looking forward to a good summer coming up anyway. But yeah, until then, I just have to enjoy the melancholy that is international break right now. So yeah,
we are the opposite. Like now, I'm here saying nights are getting cooler.
Yep,
and God bless it. God bless it.
I've actually funny how the world works. Yeah,
actually currently have man flu. What I don't know. Is men? Do we call it men flu, or is it ladies call it men flu? Either way,
no, the ladies do because they try to put a comparison of it to like childbirth or something like that.
Apparently, yeah. When we get flu, it's not as bad as when ladies get flu. Of course,
there's violins involved
because we're pussies. Apparently, but yeah, I'm just living on painkillers at the moment. Hopefully, Martin will be along, but yeah, thoughts with Martin. Also, thoughts go out to Mike Lose, who is still in hospital, still asleep, as let's put it that way. We're getting good news, some good news, some not so good news, but please say a prayer for him and hope that he pulls through soon. We're all thinking of you, Mike. What else have I got to say quickly? Of course, actually, yes. Make sure you go and check out OK Jerseys. I've got another new one which is an old one. One of my favourite kits of all time. Yep, got it off OK Jerseys. £15 minus 8%. You also get if you use the OK at checkout. And the other thing, go and check out our other sponsor, Match Bingo. Now, I actually played Match Bingo yesterday, and I got a winner. I won 35 quid. I won 25 quid. My first time playing it. I'm also later on going to be doing a watch along. I'm thinking I'm going to do a Donnarumma watch along later, and I'll probably have a little go at Match Bingo during that, so I can explain to you how it all works.
Gamble responsibly.
Please do gamble responsibly. Yeah, it's little £2 games, bro. So it's really like that's what I mean. I won 25 quid off £2.
Let me do the Australian ones. Chances are you're about to lose.
Yeah, do you know? Is that what they say?
Yep,
it's quite a good way. Of
we've cracked it. We've cracked down quite a lot on the gambling because, like, people think like the gambling culture in certain countries. You know, UK is what it is, but like United States, the way the betting culture's kicked off there over the last 5-10 years. That's what Australia's been like for the last probably 50 years, basically.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. It's on another level. Just
I think that's quite a good way.
But they're doing a lot to sort of crack down, and it was like with the cigarettes. Like we were the first ones to bring in the plain packaging, and put photos of like dead babies and chopped up lungs and all that sort of stuff, and like the really graphic stuff. And, yeah. Like we're not afraid to like if we want to reel something in, we're not afraid to go pretty hardcore on it. Yeah.
Well, I hear it. And look, that is right with gambling. Just be careful, man. Be careful. It is mad when you see what I mean. I'm blessed that I've never had a gambling addiction, but I've certainly have seen what it can do to people, and it's actually mad. Right. Other thing I just need to address really quickly is I made a joke of it at the start. The civil war within the City fan base. It seems to happen when City aren't playing great that everyone just starts going for the necks of one another. I've had someone moan about people that I basically yesterday on the show, there was somebody, Formidables, I believe his name is, who for whatever reason, he's not too keen on one or two guests that I have on. And so decided to start trying to, I guess, create some shit between me and Steve, saying Steve doesn't deserve to be on a channel that has people that are negative. Right. So firstly, Steve and I discuss every single guest that has been on here. Secondly, I will be very clear with this. There are some opinions of people that come on this channel that I don't agree with, right? However, that is the way of the world, right? Not everyone agrees with everyone else. Now, if we have a debate on it, we can often find common ground, and there's no way that I'm going to suppress some voices in the fan base. So anyone that doesn't like people, do you know what? If you see people on a show and you really don't like their opinions, no problem. Go and watch a different channel. But please don't start trying to create shit amongst our fan base. And I've heard other things recently with people telling other people that X, Y, or Z have said things about them that they really haven't said, right? Listen, just because someone has a different opinion to you, that does not mean that they're a better person, a worse person, a better fan, a worse fan. They're just a different person to you, and it is a different opinion. It's a different angle. I'm not going to suppress people. Secondly, some people have. Yesterday, I had a gentleman telling me that the person I'm talking about was blocked, and saying, "Oh, as a City channel, you shouldn't be." It's another block gate, right, where people are moaning about being blocked. So I don't block you in the show. You can see I'm not IT savvy. I can't speak, and I also can't multitask. So I can't have a conversation and also be doing things in the back end. So I went and had a quick look at who's blocked. And the only people that are blocked on this account, on this channel, are bots. Literally, Wrinkled Head Saeed and CFC Don, right? They are bots that are used regularly, just pop up chatting absolute shite. So there's nobody blocked on this channel. So again, if anyone is claiming that we have been blocking people, I've gone and checked it and we haven't. And it's very, very, very weird behavior, to be frank with you, to claim that someone has blocked you that haven't. I don't know what you're trying to do. But anyway, let's move on from that and now move on to football. I don't know if you've seen the title, but I was just looking at our midfield. So yesterday we were having a chat, myself, Steve, and the Sheikh, and we were talking about obviously a lot of talk on wingers, a lot of talk on the defence. And I just sat there and looked at the midfield. And do you know what? When I look at our midfield, I think our midfield is one of the most balanced in the Premier League.
It's always been. I think we've always prided ourselves on the strength of our midfield as well.
Agreed, 100%. I think. And by the way, let me be clear. Am I saying our midfield is as strong as it's ever been? No, I'm not. I'm saying it's very well balanced from age to different styles. I think our midfield is really good. I think when our midfield clicks, I think quite a few of our problems may well be resolved. Not all of them, certainly not all of them, but yeah, looking at our midfield at the moment, I think the one thing at the moment is, the Tottenham game, I think, when we saw Gonzalez, Cherki, and Reijnders, I think that was missing experience.
Yep.
Looked a little bit weak, maybe.
Wasn't the sort of midfield you'd want to play in your first home game of the season.
Against Tottenham.
Just anybody first game of the season. I think that's important.
Yeah. Again, Taurus, you're coming in there. I know, Taurus, you're quite a negative one, which is fine. But saying nothing special about midfield for now. I like the use of for now in that, because this is another thing we said yesterday. That at the moment, Man City aren't scary. When we signed Kevin De Bruyne, we were told that Kevin De Bruyne was never going to make it. After one game, Reijnders was apparently the saviour of Manchester City. After 3 games, everyone's forgot about Reijnders. So football does change very quickly.
We were told David Silva was never going to make it in the Premier League.
Going to be too weak. Yeah.
Yep.
I personally think, I think this comment's quite good. 2 new players in a midfield of 3. I think we bring in a bit more experience. I think, right, Man United, what's your midfield? I've got mine in my head.
I'm trying to remember the bloody squad. I'm genuinely trying to remember the squad.
David.
How often I watch them, I'm sorry.
David, I have a feeling you might be quite young. Say KDB had previous experience with Chelsea is insane, bro. He'd played a handful of games. That was not really experience. If we're saying
he was way down the list with Mourinho,
yeah,
David, he was way down the list.
If we are saying KDB had experience, then right now Nico O'Reilly is one of our most experienced players. Put it that way. That's the amount of game time that Kevin De Bruyne had at Chelsea. Come on, man. Yeah, go on. Think about it. Your midfield against Man United.
Oh, against Man United?
Yeah.
So I thought you were saying midfield of United. But,
No.
No. You're right, mate. For a game like that, I'd probably go Rodri, Reijnders, and Nico G.
Yeah. See, I think pretty
I
much
want the one that's likely going to give me that much stability, solidity, and most likely to have possession of the game or dominate possession of the midfield.
Yeah, I think that's very important. Now, I think everyone's going, Nico, Rodri, Reijnders. The only thing I would say is, right, I think Bernardo will start. I think Bernardo will start. He is the club captain, and usually in derbies. In fact, Bernardo against United's pretty damn good as well. I think Bernardo.
If it was at Old Trafford, he'd definitely start. He always starts at Old Trafford.
Yeah,
but I see what you mean. I think that's the sort of presence you want in a derby, especially when you're trying to right the ship after some poor form.
Yeah. Right. So, JMCFC. I've seen you. You asked a question on in the comments earlier. Would you start Rodri against? Would you start Rodri against Man United? And now you've just said, if anyone thinks Rodri will start 3 games in a week, Rodri won't let this happen. Club won't want this. So for me, Rodri must start against, I presume you're meaning the 3 games we've got coming up as in Arsenal, Man United and Napoli, because he didn't start for Spain, did he? So for me, I would start Rodri against Man United. I would rest him against Napoli, and then I would start him against Arsenal. For me, Napoli, Napoli's the one he would be rested in for me. I'd probably start Gonzalez in that. Does anyone actually also know how far away Kovacic is from coming back?
Well, he was just doing a Manchester City promo event over in New York, so. As far as we know, they're just probably allowing him to have a bit of R&R right now. Well, R&R and rest, relaxation, and rehabilitation. So if he's off doing promo stuff in New York, then he's probably still a few weeks away before he's even training.
Right, okay. I can't lie. So at this point, for me, it needs to be Rodri and Nico rotating. I think Pep does. I think that's something that's quite important, that we do try and settle this starting 11 as quickly as possible.
Yep.
We've tried the no experience Reijnders, Cherki, and Gonzalez. It didn't work. It didn't look great, right?
Yep.
So for me, it would be a Nico, and until Kovacic is back, it's when Rodri starts, I'd be looking to bring him off maybe by about the 70th minute for Gonzalez, and every, like you said, in Champions League, maybe for now, you're starting Nico Gonzalez. Reijnders should be an ever present for me.
Yeah. Well, if we're in a position where we can actually, for once, actually be comfortably a couple of goals ahead, when we get to about that 60, 65 minute mark, then we could start looking at what we've always done when we get ready to knuckle down for games every 3 days with Champions League, is utilize your 5 substitutions as much as you can, start getting that rotation going, because the fixtures are coming thick and fast. And yes, as I said before in our shows, it's like, yes, I've been disappointed over the last 2 weeks in that, but I can't wait for us to start playing every 3 days, because sooner or later you're going to play yourself. You're going to play yourself into form, and we'll start seeing just how good these new players and this new system that we're going to do is going to work.
So by the sounds of that, you're still quite optimistic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the way in which we started, sort of, I always try to go back to see if I can draw parallels with other seasons, and I do feel like the way we sort of started, and you're given what we had to do leading into this season, what we did at the end of last season, it sort of gave me a bit of 2020 vibes. You know what I mean? Like we had to finish the season late because of Champions League. We came back with barely any preseason.
That was the Leicester 5-2 loss.
And then the Leicester 5-2 was like that was like probably the first real sign in terms of en masse where we started having this social media civil war basically with amongst the fans. Like, you know, Liverpool's going to go back to back now. But
I mean, let's
not remember with that season, we took a long time to click. We were like 13th in the table by the time we were like November, 100%. December.
100%.
There's plenty of opportunities ahead of us to get into form, and I think
given the lack of preseason, we should have won the league that season. I mean,
sorry?
we shouldn't have. But the end of January, I think Man United were top. I think Liverpool might have been second. KDB was injured, and Aguero was injured.
Yes,
and it was
I think Varane was playing most of. Yeah, Varane was playing most of our games, I think.
Yeah, well, no, I think that was the season. Was that not the season?
No, because we signed Varane that season, and then he left in January of the following season. Yeah,
but that's when Gundo stepped in, wasn't it, and became all of a sudden our top goal. He was our top goal scorer that season.
Yeah,
2021, right? Yeah,
false nine Gundogan. Oh, that seems like such a long time ago.
It does. Do you know what someone said the other day? Last game of the season, Fulham away. Now, when we look back in hindsight, it was KDB's last game. It was Ederson's last game. It was Gundogan's last league game, Gundogan's last game. And technically, it was kind of, I know he wasn't even in the squad, but it was Jack Grealish's last game. To think 4 senior players, well, more than 4 have gone. Akanji's gone as well. Lots changed, man. A lot has changed.
Yeah. So I think some of the changes are going to take time to get used to. I mean, I personally think that we've sort of had to rearrange the way in which we sort of maneuver players in and out, you know, transfers in and transfers out, because in my personal opinion, I've always said this, is that I think if we didn't have to chase the 4 in a row, we would have started the rebuild immediately after the treble.
Yeah, maybe.
But because we had that 4 in a row, we had to keep on it. We had to keep the pace, keep the squad going 110%, get that 4 in a row. And then I think for that reason, we probably ended up playing catch up a lot. The catch up process has been has dragged out a lot longer than what it would have been if we weren't in that position.
Yeah, I think.
So I think right now it's just like it's like, yes, we're finally doing this rebuild. We're finally getting us like turning over a new page and starting to set up. But I think for that reason, because we took it a bit longer, or we're trying to chase history by taking a little bit longer, we have to accept that it's going to take a little bit longer to get ourselves back.
Hold on, what's going on here? Do you know something we don't?
No.
He hasn't. Hold on.
No, you know what you say that because I got all my John Stones paraphernalia hanging up.
Bo, you never know.
Surely not.
Here we go. John Stones has left England camp with an injury.
Oh dear!
Right.
Dear.
So let's.
If you don't laugh, you'll cry.
Hold on.
But he's left with an injury, and we haven't even played.
I was about to say this. I honestly believe at the moment, I think there's some players, if you don't laugh, you'll cry, right? But I do think there are some players that at the moment, this international break, I feel like Pep has maybe said to a few of these, look, yeah, we need you at the moment. And I think some defenders, I think some players like Vitor Hayes, Kuzanov as an example, he did not go to Uzbekistan. I think with some people, it's probably a case of if they're not 100% fit, they're going, nah, this isn't that important. Fucking hell, I hope so.
The big one with Kuzanov is that Uzbekistan have already qualified.
Yes,
they don't need to.
Yeah,
they don't need to. Yeah, protect them as much as you can.
I need to know more on this John Stone shit, because I'm telling you, this guy in England, absolutely every single time he joins up with that England camp, he comes back unfit.
Or it's the other way around too. He goes out there when he's over with a cloud of injury over him, and then you find out he plays
both games.
Where was this John Stones the last few weeks?
The maddest thing is I remember last season that we went through a period where he literally was playing I don't think he played for us, right? And then he went away, linked up with the England team, and Southgate played in both games, right? And one of them was a friendly. And it's like, bro, there is nothing you are learning about John Stones. If John Stones is fit, he gets in the England team. If he's not fit, he doesn't, right? You don't need to play him in friendlies, right? Especially when he's not playing for his club. And I hate to say it, but this is where the amount of time he does always choose club. I feel John Stones always chooses country over club, right? Now, I'm not knocking him for that because that's his personal opinion. But if someone does that, for me, they should move down in the pecking order for club, because I just need a solid centre-back partnership. I don't think Stones has started the season amazingly either, by the way. I don't think he was good against Wolves. The other two games, I don't think he was amazing. But saying that, no Vardiel. It's going to be.
There's a sense of rinse and repeat from last season. It's just a different faces are on the injury list right now, and it's putting pressure on other players.
Yeah. I think at this point, then it's going to have to be. I mean, if Stones is injured, Ake looks way off it. Ake looks off it. He doesn't look. He looks a bit leggy. I'm just trying to think about. Do you know what? It went from me talking about having 7 centre backs to all of a sudden I'm struggling to come up with who we're going to play at centre back against United. It's going to end up being Diaz and Kuzanov, isn't it?
Probably.
Oh,
do you know what though? Part of me would love to see Kuzanov out there because we might start seeing a bit of old school defending in the derby. Something that's been missing in derbies for about 10 years now.
Let me be very clear with it. I am Kuzanov. Kuzanov should be the first name on every team sheet, as far as I'm concerned at this point. And sorry, people say I keep mentioning this, but if Pep's not going to drop that high line, he must for me. So I'm not mad at a Diaz and Kuzanov partnership. I'm not, because I tell you what, they're definitely going to fucking make sure United feel it. Between the two of them, they're gonna go in very hard. I don't know. I have a feeling Stones will be fit for the derby. I think Stones has probably come back because there's not much need for him there. And he's probably not 100% fit. I think Kuzanov will be back. I do think he'll be fit. It looks like Vardy.
I'm starting to wonder if any of the squad are actually really much fit.
I mean, it does look that way, doesn't it?
At the end of the way Pep sets up his squads, they are the best squad. They are the best squads in the world for playing every 3 days, and we're not doing that yet.
Yeah.
Once they do that, that's when they start. That's when we know if they're going to be good or not. So that's why I've kept pretty quiet, and just discreetly optimistic, basically. Because yes, I'm disappointed about the results, but playing every 7 days is not how we do things. It's when we start playing every 3 days. That's when we start. Yeah.
The problem is
we start getting serious
at the moment because of the injuries. We're unable to rotate. Yeah, potentially. So now it's going to be all of a sudden we're not going to be able to get people up to peak fitness because they're going to be ran into the ground. Do we? I mean, it's way too early to recall. I think at this point, until everyone is back from international break and until that Man United game where we actually see the starting 11 and the bench, I think while City don't seem to be sharing as much information as they used to, I guess we don't know who's fully fit and who isn't. We don't, not even fully fit. We don't know who's fit and who isn't. If it is the way it looks like, then I think you're right. We might have to recall Vitor Hayes. We might have to.
I'll tell you what, he's been having a bit of a tough time at Girona from what I've heard.
I saw his best
bottom of the league. I don't even think they've scored a goal yet. They've been getting absolutely slaughtered.
Tell you what, I saw his highlights against Seville. It was good. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I think we probably have to wait and see. Like I said, wait and see until after the international break. But I'm not mad at a Kuzanov and Diaz partnership. I mean, listen, would I rather Vardy in there? Yeah, I would. Would I rather Would I rather Stones in there than Diaz? Yeah, I think I probably would at the moment. I personally feel Diaz needs to just kind of... But at the same time, you know what? If Diaz comes back, it's a chance for Diaz and Kuzanov. I do want to give that partnership a chance. I do. Because the one thing I have been saying is when Diaz had Kyle Walker next to him, Diaz looked quality. When he had Pace next to him, he looked quality. You put Kuzanov next to Diaz, I think it'll work.
Yeah. Well, that security blanket is just coming from a different part of the pitch. That's all it is now.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I
if you've got a centre back with that sort of pace and that sort of range, you can afford to, you press higher lines. You can afford to play 3 at the back. You can afford, or even 2 at the back. Sometimes.
Yeah.
So once he's got a grip on how he's meant to play, Kuznetsov, I think he's going to answer a lot of questions for us. And probably answer questions in a way that Kyle Walker used to answer them for us for so many years.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think I put this on Twitter yesterday. It sounds mad because I go on shows with rivals and I talk about Kuzanov, right? And some of them look at me like I'm speaking alien, right? They're thinking, hold on, you're putting all of your, Kuzanov can come in and solve a lot of our problems. And I say, yeah. And by the end of the season, you'll get what I mean. I do believe Kuzanov this season is going to have an absolute storming season. As long as he avoids injuries, I think Kuzanov's going to have a storming season. I also do think that this is the thing. This is the key with our defence, right? Is that the minute Rodri comes back in and puts that protection back in front of the defence, that helps the defence. And even if we look at Brighton...
Makes their job easier.
The first 55, 60 minutes, when Rodri was probably fully, had legs, we didn't really look like we were going to concede much. So I think Rodri helps. I think also once that midfield starts getting a bit more fluid, starts holding the ball more, because we are still giving the ball away a bit too much, I think that will help a lot, and that will take a lot of pressure off of the back four. Are you Donnarumma or Trafford on Sunday? Next Sunday.
No, for this one actually, I'm going to go. No, for this one, I'm going to go Trafford, and the reason being is because I get Claudio Bravo vibes with that. Remember Claudio Bravo's debut for City was in the Manchester Derby at Old Trafford.
Was it?
And and I think to have a player play his first game there, I'm not too sure. I'm not taking anything away from Donnarumma. I mean, the guy just basically won a Champions League and a treble for PSG. But sometimes your first games, some games. It's some games to debut are more important.
It is at home, not at Old Trafford.
It is no, but it's I don't know. I'm not questioning anything about Donnarumma, but I just think I'd be a bit more comfortable. And that's just me, old Claudio Bravo vibes. But I'll be okay with Trafford in there. I'll be okay with Donnarumma. But
I think I'd be okay with either. I think the only other thing is, look, and by the way, let me just put this out there, people. I'm not saying Donnarumma is shit with his feet, right? I'm not. However, what I am saying is that we are a team that play a particular way from the back, and Donnarumma will have around about 3 days with the coaching staff before that game. So that would be the only one where I could go, do you know what? Maybe he needs a little bit longer with the coaching staff just to, have it drilled into him, how we play out from the back.
Napoli would be a good game for him to play his debut. Italian team. He's faced him a million times. He knows he's probably faced Antonio Conte a few times. It's not a bad shout.
That's a really, really good shout. And
there's a nice little coincidence there that he happens. Yeah, debut against an Italian side.
Yeah, I also do think
it's convenient.
I expect Donnarumma in the Champions League to have the bit between his teeth. After the way he exited PSG, I think he's going to have a lot to prove, and he's probably going to want to. Last season he was the best goalkeeper in the Champions League. I'm pretty certain he's going to want to keep that and prove it this season as well. People, there's nearly 200 of you in here. Just have a quick check on the likes. The likes are at 78, which is really, really poor. People, could I ask you, it really helps the channel, especially during the international break where content is difficult to come up with. If you could please check your like button is lit. That will help to push this channel out to a few more people and push this video out to a few more people. I don't know. At the same time, what better than Donnarumma to come in, Derby against Man United, and couple of big saves already makes him halfway on the way to becoming a cult hero. I try to look at it from every perspective, and but I don't know. I just feel like some players maybe their debuts don't necessarily require like a big game to start with. But I've said whether it's one or the other, I'll be okay with it. I'll just have a different sort of outlook to it. I must admit, I like the idea of his debut coming up against Napoli. It would be a team that he knows competition. He knows, so I do hear that as well. And as well, it's at home again as well, which would mean he's getting his debut at home as well. So the only thing is, how will we feel? Sorry, Kev, but Kevin De Bruyne curls a shot.
Perfect scenario. Donnarumma has an absolute blinder. Yeah, Donnarumma has an absolute blinder, 3-0 up, 92nd minute, and then De Bruyne just hits a perler from 25 yards out, and we're like, yep, you can have that.
Yeah, 100%. David,
nice little consolation. Yeah.
Sorry, Kev. Kev has an absolute belter. 9 shots on target, all of which would be going top bins, but Donnarumma pulls out a Joe Hart against Barcelona performance.
Or Dortmund.
That
I still remember. I think that, to me, in terms of
I think the Barca game
goalkeeping performance, I think that one against Dortmund when Klopp was manager, you couldn't stop him. We should have lost that 7-1 that game.
Same with that Barcelona game as well. That Barcelona game, he was unbelievable in it. He was unbelievable in that as well. And David asking where Martin and Alan are. So Alan has gone out for a drink, and I think he actually might be on the way home now, but he's decided because he's had a drink, it's probably best he doesn't come on. And Alan, that's Alan. And Martin at the moment, I think Martin's probably looking after his dad at the moment, bro. However, if you do want to see a bit of Alan,
Fabio, shit. Not you, shit.
There you go. There's your taste of Alan.
Yep.
I do
just small sample sizes. It can hurt the brain.
I do need Alan and Patrick to have a catch up soon, because the other day Patrick did refer to Trafford as Trashford. So we need to let Alan deal with that, because as his agent, he won't be putting up with any slander. Slander,
Patrick's been warned. You don't want to poke the bear.
Bo, listen, you've seen what Isaac's trying to do to Newcastle. Take him to court over the slander. Alan might do the same to Patrick over Trashford. His name is Trafford, and do you know what? I think so far, if we're being honest, out of the 3 games, it's probably been our best signing. Overall, props to 3 games. Think about it. He had a bad game, 1 bad game, 2 good games. I think Reijnders have 1 good game, 2 average games. Aït-Nouri, for me, has been a little bit average as well. How do you think Aït-Nouri has been since he's arrived?
Finding his feet. Big change going from Wolves to City. With your manager, and especially the manager that you're going to be under as well too. So, just because you might have had a few years' experience in the Premier League doesn't mean that you're going to stop learning stuff, especially if you move to another club. So I think with Aït-Nouri, I think it's going to be one of those processes where it might take a little bit of time, but I'd also like to think that because of his previous experience playing in England, he may not be one of those players where he has to take more than a season to bet in, or a season or more to bet in, basically. So I think we just need to be patient, just allow his natural game to play, and I think eventually we'll reap the rewards from him.
Do you know what? I feel like I've just had something come in my head and think, do you know what? I might have been a little bit harsh on Aït-Nouri, because I'm just remembering he did pick up an injury against Tottenham, didn't he? Quite early on. And to be fair, I think so maybe he is carrying that. And I think he's pulled out. I'm pretty certain he hasn't travelled, has he?
I think so.
But I do feel like, and maybe that's where, because obviously during pre-season, we saw Aït-Nouri really getting forward and how good his feet are. We haven't really seen that so far. But I guess that's probably because Tottenham, we only saw him for about 30 minutes. Second game, he was injured. So, yeah, to be fair to him, I think you're right. We probably do need to give him time. Right, up top, because I think we do focus on talking about our right-back issues. We do focus talking on the high line. But if we look at the Brighton game, we're 1-0 up. Have you got concerns about us going forward as well, and about maybe we're not being clinical enough going forward?
Yeah. I feel like what's lacking at the moment is that sense of like once we score a goal, we put teams in a position where it's like, well, if any team's going to score the next goal, it's going to be us. I just feel like we're quite happy to sort of not necessarily just keep put the boot on the throat and just try and suffocate teams and try and get a result before half time, or even with 30 minutes to play or something like that. Just seems to be lacking a bit of sort of aggression, a bit more like really like pursuing, like trying to go and absolutely just put teams to bed. Like we just seem to just settle back, become a bit more flat-footed, if that's a correct term to use. I just feel like we're 1-0 up and it's like that's good, but like because if you rest on your laurels, you're allowing teams to play themselves back into the game.
It's what we did.
So it's like if there's still going to be questions around our midfield, questions around our defense, I'd rather we keep going. We keep trying to score as many goals as we can. Try and outscore teams until you figure it out what needs to be done at the back, and then once you figure it out, then you can go back and try and play in your sort of play with the sort of form that we did in treble or 4 in a row and things like that. That just seems to be lacking. There just seems to be lacking a lot of punch, like a bit more aggression. Like you get one, now go and get a few more.
Yeah, and that's the thing with me, that I found myself last season saying way too many times, if we don't get a second here, they're going to come back into this. And I think, straight away off the top of my head, I can think Bournemouth. That definitely happened at. Brighton, it happened at. Man United at the Etihad, it happened at. It happened a lot last season. Me saying, if we don't get a second, I can feel they're playing their way into this game, right? And again, against Brighton, that felt like I literally was sat there going, I did a watch long, in fact, on Big Up with Cass, because he was doing one. I got home, thought I'll do one with you. And I found myself saying, if we don't get a second here, lo and behold, they get one. And this is a problem. That once teams seem to get one goal against us, they then follow on with a second, which is now, I think it's so difficult to criticize Haaland, because you look at his goal ratio. By the way, congratulations to Erling Braut Haaland, who has, I believe, just become Norway's all-time top goal scorer already, right? Which is absolutely insane, right? You look at his ratio of goal scoring for Norway is absolutely insane. But also his record of goal scoring for us is pretty spectacular. 88 Premier League goals in 100 games. He's already scored 3 goals this season. So it's difficult to critique Haaland, but it is fair to say at the moment, he's not as clinical as he has been in the past. He's missing chances. He's missing chances that in previous seasons, well, maybe last season a little bit, but in his first 2 seasons, he wasn't missing. I think we need to get Marmoush more central, me. And I think
we need an attack that is going to leave defenders always in 2 minds. Do you double mark up on Marmoush? Do you double mark up on Haaland? Like we're just allowing, because of the slow pace of play and just the backwards passing, the sideways passing. It just means that they can just play with a bank of 5 or bank of 6, whatever they need to, and know that they're not going to get around them, not going to get past them.
Yeah,
it needs to be more of a dynamic in attack where it's just like it doesn't matter who we start up front with a 3. You need to be putting doubt in the mind of defenders where it's like, well, it doesn't matter who the ball goes to, because there's every chance that they're going to have a pop and put it in the net. So, this
is spot on.
But again, these are sort of things that they'll sort themselves out once we start playing ourselves into form.
I think this This is spot on.
Good
for me.
shout. Yeah.
Unleash Aït-Nouri. Marmoush will be central with his help. I do agree. You let Aït-Nouri get further forward. And to be fair with Aït-Nouri, because I have been harsh on him, Marmoush didn't start the first game. We played with a winger on the first game. We played with who played on the left on the first game?
It was Aït-Nouri.
No.
Aït-Nouri and Doku.
Was it Doku that started?
It was
the first
Doku.
game?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So with Doku, Aït-Nouri was not going to get as far forward. Second game, he got injured. Third game, he probably was carrying a knock. Right. But we do agree with this. We saw it in the summer. If Aït-Nouri gets further forward, then Marmoush is naturally going to come inside a bit more. Look, I think this is. I was speaking on Arsenal the other day on another channel, and I was saying that what they need to realise is that when you switch from playing with a false nine to playing with an actual nine, Gyökeres, then a lot of things change. Because we've seen it, right? We saw the fluidity before we bought Haaland. When you bring in an actual number 9, and this is to a team like Arsenal or City that play against low blocks a lot, right? That's where your number 9, the difference between being a good number 9 and being an absolute fucking belter of a number 9 like Haaland is how clinical you can be with minimal space, right? Because you're not going to get the space that you would have at other clubs. When you're playing against City, City play against low blocks week in and week out, right? Now, and what I was saying, the issue where I was saying with Arsenal is that it confused me against Liverpool that they had no Saka because he was injured, but then also went with no Odegaard and went with no Eze, right? So all of a sudden, you're taking a lot of creativity out of the team. Now, if you're in opposition, you're going, right, so what you're telling us is we don't have to worry about too much, so we can put 2 or 3 men on Gyökeres, or we can put 2 or 3 men on Haaland. I think this is where we are. If we look at the Al Hilal game, the amount of runners and creativity we had on that pitch, right? And we scored 3 goals. Now, admittedly, at the back, we were shit. We conceded 4, but we scored 3 goals. Why? Because we gave that team a lot to think about. We have to create space for Haaland, because otherwise teams are just going to go back to, do you know what? Everyone else is doing fuck all. We'll just mark Haaland out of the game. Now, even more so, without Cherki and without Foden, we need the wingers to contribute a lot more. We need the wingers to really, really be contributing. We need Reijnders further up the pitch as well, I think. Probably with Vardio and, with Rodri and Gonzalez, or Rodri and Bernardo. I think we need to push Reijnders further forward. It can't be Bernardo being the one going further forward for me. It has to be Reijnders now. Yeah. But
Kind of like Kovacic did at the start of last season, where it was like once they were able to stretch the defenders, you got him in a position where he had space on the edge of the 18-yard box. You give it to him, let him have a pop, and most of the time he'd score. Yeah, and we know what Reijnders is like. He scores plenty of goals from that sort of range of the Serie A. We know he can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And same with Rodri. I think with Rodri, against Brighton, we saw quite a reserved Rodri, right? You could almost say Rodri was floating. He wasn't, the Rodri, the back end before he got injured, how Rodri, the season Rodri got injured, he was pushing a lot further up. I think at the moment we are going to see Rodri probably sitting back a little bit more and trying to be a controller. But with time and with fitness, I think we will see Rodri start to crash the box a little bit more. But we need Reijnders to be doing that at the moment. We need Reijnders really to be a box crasher. And I guess we're missing, you know what, when you look at it, we're missing even Vardio. Vardio would become a bit of a box crasher, isn't he?
Yep.
Against United, who would you, front 3, what would you be going with?
Marmoush, Haaland, and I'm going to say Oscar Bob only because Savio's not fit. No, I probably wouldn't say Savio's fit yet.
7 days time, do you think he might be?
Don't know the matter of the injury, to be honest, but yeah.
See, Foden, we don't know if Foden's injured or not as well. This is a problem at the moment. We're looking at the squad going, is Foden injured or not? I'm still saying at some point I want Savio to start on the left. Maybe the derby is too soon. Maybe start him against Napoli on the left. But I do want to see Savio given a chance on the left-hand side.
I'll tell you what, that cup match against Huddersfield coming up will be a good opportunity for some game time for a lot of players, especially the ones who might be borderline coming off from injury.
Is that the week after?
24th or something. So it's like...
Yeah, so that would be the week after the Napoli game.
Napoli, that's right.
Yeah. Right, okay. Yeah, do you know what? When you do look at it, I've kind of downplayed the injuries because until after the international break, I really, really, really... I'm being optimistic, the fact that I think some of these players, and I'm just trying to find, bear with me, I'm trying to find the statement on John Stones. Right, here it is. So, statement, John Stones is withdrawn from the England squad as a precautionary measure. City Extra reported that. Thomas Tuchel, he came in with muscular issues in camp and he hasn't progressed how we hoped. We won't take the risk. To me, that does sound like Stones will be fit for the United game and it's more of a precautionary thing.
Because your internationals, are they World Cup qualifiers or are they just friendlies or?
They're World Cup qualifiers.
They are World Cup qualifiers,
The first one's against, is it Andorra at home? I'm sorry, but if we need John Stones to beat Andorra, then fucking count me out of the World Cup now.
I'm getting Vincent Company vibes against Gibraltar if that ever happened. You remember that? Remember that when Roberto Martinez was manager of Belgium? Yeah. I've never been so pissed off at a manager ever in my life, and obviously has nothing to do with City, but the fact that Vincent, do you remember that Vincent Company got injured and it was a friendly against Gibraltar. It was either friendly or it was a Euro. I think it was like a Euro qualifier, and Belgium only needed like 1 point from like the last 4 games to qualify for the Euros. He keeps him on until the 85th minute. He gets an injury. And they're 7-0 up against Gibraltar.
Yeah.
I've never been, and like we needed him for that season too. I've never been so livid in my life.
With the way international teams seem to play centre back sometimes when it's so obvious they're injured is insane. They did that a lot. Just on this one, Foden always mysterious injury, 300k a week, sell him for 100 million next season if he fails to deliver this season. There's one problem with that, bro, that if he fails to deliver this season, I don't know what world you're thinking we'd get 100 million for Foden in. That would be 2 bad seasons. We're not going to get 100 million. We wouldn't get anywhere near 100 million for Foden based on right now, based on the injuries. Because let's be fair to Phil. You know, last season there was definitely something wrong mentally with Foden. It has come out. So whether you believe that or not, I think people that try and downplay that, that's at your detriment. Me personally, as someone that suffered from mental health, I do believe it, and injuries. So we will give him that, but he's not worth 100 million at this point. He isn't. I think Savio is probably actually worth more than Foden at this point. See, for me, we're keeping Savio. I want to see him on the left-hand side. I actually think it would have been criminal to. The amount of money we're being asked for. Sorry, bro. Just on this one, please leave Foden's personal health issues away from here. Bro, I don't know if that was to me or if that was to anyone in the comments, but I will mention his mental health and his personal issues on here because I think it's very relevant. Now, I will mention it in a respectful way, unlike other people, and say that people need to be respectful of that. But it is a reason, bro. So, we will mention if someone has personal issues and they're not playing because of personal issues, then I will mention it. I will mention it because it's relevant, and I hope to God that no one plays it down. But we have to speak on it. It's fair that we share with people the reasons why he's not here. Then we just go, I don't know why he's not here. If he's not here because of personal issues, we should speak on it. We should. Sorry, I was going to say on Savio. For me, look, I personally think the amount of money we're being offered for him, I would have took it. But at the same time, I do think it would be a little bit criminal to get rid of Savio without giving him a chance on that left-hand side. Can you see Pep ever doing it?
Isn't he just one of many players where we've said play him in that position and then Pep doesn't do it?
And that's the frustration.
Yep.
Yeah.
How many times we asked Jack Grealish to be in the midfield? Doesn't happen. How many times we wanted Bernardo Silva in the midfield more than he used to? Never happened. Savio just falls into that category. So we don't know what Pep sees on the training pitch that makes him want to play on the right. But then again, you know, for so many years we had Mahrez doing that. It was always playing on the right. So
yeah.
It's a tricky one because what we've seen from Savio on the left-hand side is only a small sample size, but what we've seen is good. But just shows that no matter how good the sample size, if Pep doesn't think you're suitable for that position, then he obviously sees a broader picture than what we do.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. Sorry, James CFC. At no point did I lie there. Sorry, I really don't like having this, but this is why I'm saying please stop trying to police me. You are trying to police me, bro. And saying I'm telling lies now, I'm not telling lies. I was speaking about last season, okay? And last season, you know better than me that some of the reasons why Phil Foden was not playing last season was because of his personal life. So I will speak on it. So don't then tell me that I'm lying, bro, because I'm not lying. Last season was because of his personal issues. You know that, and I know that. So if I speak on it, I will speak on it. Please don't label me a liar, or respectfully, you will be one that I block, whether you're in the know or not. Don't start doing that, bro. This season, the ankle injury. Last season, it was because of personal issues. So me saying that does not make me a liar, right? And don't police me. Like I said, I will share my opinion on this channel, and I'm not going to be policed by anybody. Right. What else do we need to talk on? I'm just trying to think. Right back.
Well, have to wait 6 months, 12 months, maybe. Yeah.
So until then,
are we on Vanderson watch when we played Monaco? When do we play Newcastle? Are we on Livramento watch?
We haven't been linked with him once. In fact, I haven't really seen anyone linked with him.
No, he seemed to go a bit under the radar, and yet, from what you see in reports, he is regarded as like one of the new sort of upcoming fullbacks as well. So it's a strange one, that. Yeah. Agreed.
Sorry. JMCFC, somebody that puts himself out there as someone that should not be name calling and everyone should be kind, right? On this show, you've called me a liar for saying that Foden had personal issues last season. He did, right? You know that. I didn't say he's having personal issues this season. I said he was having personal issues last season. You're now calling me an idiot. Why? Because I'm disagreeing with you and I'm saying that you're trying to police me. Okay. Hope you have a good day, James CFC. You're the one name calling now, which is going against everything you try and preach. Right. I'm going to wrap up here because someone has come in here and put me in a really fucking bad mood. It's not you, Patrick, by the way.
I'll try better next time.
You always make me smile.
I just wanted to quickly ask something too. Daniel Levy leaving. Do you think that might have something to do with 115?
Oh, now that's put me in a better mood. Now that's put me in a lot better mood.
We're back.
My
God, we're back again.
Yeah, Bo. Do you know what?
Do you think there's something to it? I was having this chat with a mate at work today, and he's like, I think it might have. I think it might be. I wonder if there might be something into that.
So hold on. Do you think he was sacked? Was he sacked then?
No, he's chair of the board. He
so
chose to leave. But I'm just thinking like he's walked. There's all this talk about if it's not the September international break that the news comes out, it's probably going to be October. But then again, we said that about every bloody international break last season. So it remains to be seen. 4R2 in the chat, you just said Levy was orchestrating 115. I don't know about orchestrating, but he certainly was pushing the narrative in the media because he has huge media connections. So I get what you're saying. You're in the ballpark. Yeah. So I think there's something to this. I might have got a little bit tinfoil hat, but There's no smoke without fire.
Well, it is a bit of a bizarre one because you know he's got
Why
so
now?
much. He's got so much control there. He does what he wants there.
Yeah.
Why leave now? And I have been saying this. You know, the narrative in the media for me has certainly changed from City are cheats to. And Levy actually led this in the press on Sky. It went from City are cheats to all of a sudden, oh, City should have given us evidence earlier, right?
Yep.
And I do think, look, the Premier League is ultimately run by the clubs.
Yeah.
And Levy was definitely one pushing there against Manchester City. We all know the reasons why as well. So I wonder, bro.
It'd be worth actually monitoring a lot of certain clubs that we know would have been sort of tip of the spear in terms of the whole pushing the 115. I mean,
yeah.
From what you hear on insiders, they say that it was Steve Parish from Palace. Apparently, he's the one who's been pushing the 115 more than anybody. He was one of the big ones that was pushing more than anything.
I've heard
so you wonder if keep an eye on some of those clubs, especially the ones that are American owned, just see if there's any sort of movements with the front office stuff.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what? You ended the stream on a lot better note with that. Thank you very much.
Save the best for last. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's something. It just.
I'm waiting
coincidence.
For you to come on.
Are you sure it's a coincidence? Yeah.
I mean,
Levy sacked. No, he would have left because he's chair of the board.
Yeah.
I think he would have chose to leave. I don't think there would have been a.
Yeah. Have you
voted
seen
no
this
confidence?
Have you seen this?
Yeah. And
that
and West Ham are well within their rights. Well, West Ham are well within their rights.
Yeah.
If they feel that this has been brought ahead, because you got to look at the timing of it. It was roughly around that time. Actually, from what Martin had said, from what he'd heard through the people that he knows.
Yeah.
Again, he's not an ITK, but we'd basically pretty much put pen to paper and agreed to a deal with Paqueta. I think it was meant to be about 85 million. He was going to be at about 225K a week or something like that, 5-6 year contract. And then within about a week, not even a week, we just got slammed with it. Paqueta, FA, gambling breaches, blah, 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 blah. I was over in the UK when it happened. I heard about it.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like coincidence. Like that seemed as much more like the FA was trying, again, I'm sounding tinfoil hat, but it just felt like that was more like somebody from the FA trying to block a potential big signing going to a certain club.
Yeah. I think I said at the time, right, if I was Paqueta, I'd be absolutely livid because you'd be looking, you know, he ultimately was about to get, I think he'd agreed personal terms and I think West Ham had agreed terms with City. So both have lost out on major money, major money. I mean, his career's changed because of that. Now, don't get me wrong. Listen, he's still going to play for Brazil. He's still going to be in the World Cup squad. But any chances of getting trophies while he's at West Ham, null and void.
Well, he did. He did get a trophy.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, fuck me. Well, yeah, that is mad.
And let's be honest, they had a better away day than we did. They had a better away day than they did. They did a bunch of days in Prague. We were stuck with that fucking stadium out in Istanbul.
Do you know what?
I know what I would have preferred.
Put back in my box so quickly. Literally, I was like, they ain't never going to win a trophy. Daps, they did. Oh, shit, yeah, they did. Champions of Europe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of see that one. Now, me personally, I think the Isak one, because I've seen that Isak potentially might try and sue Newcastle. I think that one's a bit harsh, man.
Yeah, because to me that sounds like his agent was throwing toys at the pram, and as a result, it was forcing Isak to do the same as well.
Yeah, what it is,
you know, and again, it's like, you know, and I'm going to say, look, yeah, it sounded like Oil Brothers, which, by the way, Martin did a show on that yesterday.
Yeah, I watched it yesterday. I did watch
keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
But you just get the sense that the whole PSR / you know, FFP 2.0, whichever way you want to look at it, it feels like that this is really sort of rearing its ugly head towards Newcastle, because, you know, they're now relying on having to basically get Champions League every year now for several years before they can start getting the wage bills that will attract the big players.
Yeah.
Because if Isak didn't go in this window, it's absolutely guaranteed he would have gone in the next window. So I can understand why they try to renegotiate a contract, get him a higher wages, maybe a release clause, so then he can just leave on better terms. So
do you know what they
accepted? I get where Newcastle are coming from. They want to keep the player because really what they need is they need their best squad if they want to not only perform well in the Premier League, but what's going to keep them competing for years to come now is basically they got the trophy, they got something they can hold on to, and they got something that they can launch from. But they need to keep getting those Champions League spots. If they don't do it, it's really going to affect them financially going forward. And I mean, I'm not saying like it's going to bankrupt them or anything like that. But I mean, if they want to compete, they need to continue increasing the revenue, increasing that wage bill, and follow the same model as what City have done. Because we've been in the Champions League for 15 years straight, and for that reason, that constant money, that TV money that comes in from the Champions League, that's the reason why you can afford to give Haaland $500,000 a week. That's the reason why you can have a core of midfield that are all on 300 to 350K a week, because that's what you do. You build yourself up to become that level.
Do you know what? People still nearly 200 of you in here. The likes are still only round about the 100 mark. In fact, I think they're floating around the 115 mark. We don't like the number 115, do we? So people, please make sure you smash that like button, get it up towards the 150 mark. For me, look, if we look at when City got money, was everything done perfectly when we first got money? No, it wasn't. 100% it wasn't, right?
I've always said Robinho was a statement signing.
It was 100%.
You're making a statement like we've arrived. Yeah.
We had the Gary Cook period. Don't get me wrong, we won some trophies, but we also did make some mistakes. And even now, our board is still making mistakes. To say that your board has made a mistake is much like saying your manager's made a mistake, or much like saying a player's had a bad game, right? You're not saying fuck that person. You're not saying you want them disassociated from your club. You're just saying they made a mistake. Now, when I had conversations with Newcastle, and by the way, Khaldoon's even come out and spoke of mistakes he's made in the past, right? People make mistakes. Now, for me, Newcastle United going into this summer, they just won their first trophy in about 60 years, right? Now, that will, firstly, that improves the mentality of the players.
As a club, that's their 2011 FA Cup was to us.
100% it was.
That's your launch pad to go.
Spot on. It's your launch pad, and and to your group of players, it's right. We've got this. We're back into Champions League now. We've got a squad that, for me, if you look at when Newcastle's first season in the Champions League, right, their squad was too small, and it not only impacted that they didn't get far enough in the Champions League, but it also meant that it was a detriment to what happened in the league as well. And they fell off in the league because their squad just wasn't big enough. Now, they got back into the Champions League. And last season, we saw a Newcastle team that best 11 could compete with anyone, right? They just needed, your Tonales, your Brunos, your Isaks, your Livermentos. They just needed a bigger squad, right? So they should have gone into this summer all hell loose, right? Bringing in, increasing that. Now, the key to that is a director of football. And they went into the summer without a director of football. Yep. So, yes, I know Newcastle fans will say, oh, PSR. Okay, PSR might be relevant, but you're doing yourself no favours as a board if you're going in with no director of football. Now, they were in negotiations with about 7 players that they failed to get over the line, right? If you have a director of football, that's where they come in, because some signings don't need a director of football. Some signings can just be done by an admin team, right? You agree a fee and the rest just sails through. It's the ones where there's other teams in for the player that you need that director of football. And without the director of football, they can try and blame anyone else. The board failed you massively. And because of that, Isak has gone, and now they're going into a season maybe a bit under strength squad-wise. And if they don't...
Until we know how this Ultimator goes, which, by the way, he is regarded as a damn good player.
But Bo, you look at what they had last season, right? And now you look at what they have this season, and it's like you haven't improved, and your squad hasn't really got... And this is the key. For them to be able to go on a bit of a run in Europe and continue to maintain top 4 in the Premier League, I think they needed a bigger squad, and their squad hasn't got any bigger, right? So now, if they don't maintain top 4, if they don't win something this season, then all of a sudden next season, the likes of Bruno, the likes of Tonali, the likes of Livramento, they're going to be a lot more open to if another club. Now, I'm going to say it. For me, I'd go in for Tonali and I'd go in for Livramento. I'd take both of them. I'd take Bruno as well, but I can't lie. I thought Tonali was absolute. Tonali was everything we needed last season. His energy about the pitch. But, Bo, I'm going to keep an eye on this Levy thing. I'm going to keep an eye on this Levy thing. Yeah, they did. Hadro, they signed. I think they signed. They signed Elanga.
So they did get Visser. They got Johan Visser, Voltemada from Stuttgart. I think that's going to be a good signing.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good signing. Yeah. And they got Visser, who
Visser's a good plan B now that Visser's a good plan B now that Isak's out the door, and I think it's a huge upgrade from Callum Wilson as well.
Yeah. I mean, do you know what? Callum Wilson, for me, I'm a big fan of Callum Wilson. However, I'm not a fan of his injuries. Without the injuries, but we'll see.
They've also bolstered the attack defense a little bit. They've got that Malik Thiaw from AC Milan who looks decent. Yeah, I'm just on Transfermarkt looking at it right now, and I think Anthony Elanga will be a decent addition to this.
I think Elanga, however much
there's some good depth there. There's some good depth there, and if Eddie Howe gets it right, which I think he will, I think he's a good enough manager. I think they can be competitive.
I still don't think their squad's big enough.
Yeah.
That's the
thing. I mean,
right?
I think that can be a good team, but yeah, I think they're relying on minimal injuries this season.
Yeah, because it's with right. So they've just won the Carabao Cup. So if you're a Newcastle fan, what do you concentrate on this season? Do you want to retain it? Do you want to win the FA Cup? Do you want to maintain top 4, or do you want to go on a European run? Because either way, there's no way that they can do all 4. I think they'd struggle to do 2 of them. So.
Yeah, there'll be eggs in and out of the basket for sure. And I think looking at it as an outsider looking in, I think if you want to try and take a next step to more success, then I think FA Cup is probably the main one.
Yeah.
Target the FA Cup, and then if you can put in good performances, I think a great step up from last season for Newcastle would be win the FA Cup, and maybe a half decent Champions League run and a top 4.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of where you want this club to go, given what the financial constraints are given to you by the Premier League, by the FA and things like that, the key is the top 4. But I think at the same time too, the measure in which how well your club performs is success, and that's trophies. So you still need to target trophies, but at the same time, you got to there's a fine balance between becoming financially successful and also, success on the honor roll, basically.
Yeah, agreed. Right, people. I just want to give a shout out to the mods. I know that someone jumped in and during that little rant from me and blocked JMCFC. I've unblocked him because generally he is a good guy that contributes well. But I don't know. Calling me a liar when I'm not lying about anything and then calling me an idiot for telling him to stop calling me a liar is a bit mad. But I've unblocked him. But I do appreciate mods having my back as always. Right. So we're going to redirect over to Never a Foul. I am going to be back later tonight. I'm thinking a Donnarumma watch along. And not just Donnarumma. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to have a fetish tonight, people. I am going to do a Donnarumma foot watch. And I'm going to label it so as well. A Donnarumma foot watch. Because Alan's been telling us too much. This guy's rubbish with his feet. So I'm going to judge his feet tonight.
In the words of Donnarumma's native tongue, Kerkazzo.
What does that mean?
What the fuck?
Oh, do you speak Italian?
I actually learned Italian in my first 2 years at high school, but I had a lot of Italian mates as well. So okay. I learned all the colourful words.
Donnarumma watch along it is. But Patrick, really appreciate you coming on. Got anything coming up on Mancunian Way? I think you've done the...
I think we're a bit quiet over the weekend. We should be back. I know I'm definitely back with Blues Down Under next Wednesday morning UK time, so keep an eye out for that. Martin will probably have something planned. There'll probably be a stateside Blues as well. There'll probably be a little bit of probably spend the whole of next week building up to the derby anyway. So yeah, keep an eye out for all that, Mancunian Way. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, please give us a like and a subscribe. I think we're about close to 7.5K, hoping to get to 10K as soon as possible. So yeah, appreciate any support. It's always greatly
Always. They're
appreciated.
they're tagged in the description as always.
Yep.
They're kind of like our sister channel, Mancunian Way, so make sure you sub. And
For the fossils. Yeah.
Head over to Never a Foul. I need all of you blues there backing me, because I'm sure I'm going to get some shit off of rivals as always. And catch you all later. And until then, you can have this, man.
Fabio, shit. Stop you, shit.